The Screaming Mummies. In 1886, Gaston Maspero, the head of the Egyptian Antiquities Service, was doing like he do, just taking mummies out of their sarcophagi, unwrapping them, dictating all kinds of boring notes when he came across an unusually plain burial box. Unlike the kings and queens he'd been working with for most of his career, this particular box didn't give any information as to the identity of the stiff inside. Even stranger, the body was wrapped in sheepskin, which was considered unclean by ancient Egyptians. When he finally uncovered it, Gaston also found that the corpse's hands and feet had been bound for some unspeakable reason. And then, as he slowly panned his gaze upward, presumably while violins screeched out a dramatic, building score, he found this screaming, undead face looking back at him. Because of the strange coverings, the bound hands and the seemingly tortured expression, experts theorized that the body, creatively named Unknown Man E, had been poisoned, buried alive or otherwise tortured before his untimely death. Now that we've done extensive studies on mummification and seen quite a few more intact examples, however, we understand how silly that theory was. Not because the screaming mummy was just a fluke, but because they're all screaming all the time. If the jaw isn't strapped shut when a body is mummified, it naturally falls open during the process of decay, leaving a permanent scream. Most modern burial practices account for this. The ghost of Jacob Marley, Scrooge's business partner in A Christmas Carol, is always shown with that weird headband/chinstrap for precisely this reason. But not all cultures take closing the jaw into account, or sometimes the knots tying the mouth shut just slip. That's why, since Unknown Man E, there have been several more screaming mummies found in various digs all around the world. Yep. Apparently the screaming torment of the undead just ain't a thing. But really, when you think about it, the rational explanation for the screaming mummies doesn't actually make the finds less impressive. If anything, we have more respect than ever for archaeologists, who we now realize are constantly stumbling into strange, sealed tombs to find stuff like this thing staring at them from the shadows. And when they come face to face with the scariest props from Raiders of the Lost Ark, said archaeologists not only inexplicably refrain from exploding in a big salty ball of fear urine, but calmly stride over, grab the damn thing by the neck and drag the bastard out into the sun for science to take a good, long gander at. And that's why we propose a new field of study that devotes all of its research hours just to figuring out how to measure balls that size. Related, mummies got packed with mummy snacks.